Hello there everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Soulver Weekly Forecast. I'm Courtney Kassman.
And I'm Alison Maiden.
And we have had so many people write in awesome questions. Thank you guys, we love hearing the support. Now people really want an update on an old video we did about relationships and where that was kind of heading last year. I think that has been pushed forward into this year.
Yeah.
And people want to know what the hell is happening. There's been breakups and there's been friendship breakups, you name it.
So we've moved into a 9-year on the Earth cycle, and so 9 is all about endings. And,
Yes. Yep.
And it's like the spiritual spring clean, basically, of your life.
It is, isn't it? Everything. Yeah.
So you might find that, old relationships are no longer really serving you. Instead of you sort of just sitting in them, that there will be situations that will come up to challenge that.
Yep.
And when it does happen like that, instead of just leaving it, it will just be not leavable, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
You'll have to deal with it. So let's have a look, guys, at what the energy is around all relationships, and we will cover like friendships as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
because
important.
I think that all relationships this year are going to be really important, and it's for your growth. And of course, anything that happens like this is for our growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the wise thing here also is to not be too harsh or too judgmental. And if things aren't going your way, then perhaps just leave it in a nice, friendly way rather than laying blame, because the energy around this year is very much about taking responsibility for your own actions. And of course, the bottom card would be choices, two different paths to walk. So yeah, absolutely 100%. And what this is telling us, the universe is saying, well, it's your choice. You can either stay in the same situation, although it may not change. And it's interesting, Court, because I was actually talking to someone this morning when I was working, and this person was saying exactly this, that she's been in the same relationship for a really long time, hoping and wishing things would change.
And they didn't.
They haven't.
Yeah.
And so for her, it was crunch time. Yeah. So I think that, this is the kind of theme of the day, that if you are currently sort of feeling like you're on that treadmill and that you can't get off, there may need to be changes not only in your friendship circles, but perhaps in your very close relationship circles as well. So let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Wow. So this is setting up the energy for the next 5 years of your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's important then, the relationships that you're pulling in. And
yeah, I mean, people often joke about a 5-year plan, don't they? It's my 5-year plan.
That is very true, 5 years.
And so I think that the 5-year plan here it's generally speaking to get things set up now. And so you'd be very much in the beginning of it in this year, so if you are going to be living a long-term situation, or that you're, starting a whole new friendship group, it would be like the beginnings of that. And there's always great things that happen in the beginnings of any relationship.
Absolutely.
The honeymoon period.
Yes.
So there's some wonderful, joyous things going on around, and you could actually have a lot of fun. This could be a really good time for you. And it's also a time of reflection and getting to know yourself maybe after a really long period of like doing for others, or getting lost in someone that just won't be helped. That can be a real big danger actually of staying too long in a relationship. Okay, so this is overcoming your problems and obstacles and also defending yourself for your decisions.
Wow. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Back yourself.
Definitely. And if it doesn't feel right for you, just because the family don't agree with it, or mum and dad are saying, oh, you've got to stick it out, blah, 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 you really need to understand what is right for you and follow that intuition. One of the things coming forward here is be true to yourself this year. If other people are putting you down or trying to make the judgments for you, it's just time to go, no, I'm sorry. It's a pity that we don't have the same buttons we do on Facebook in our life, where we can just go delete, block, ban.
Yes,
Yeah, because there is a time approaching, of course, where a lot of communication will have to happen. And the Queen of Swords has come out in this particular area. So this is like the influence over this particular reading.
Yeah.
And the Queen of Swords is very, well, let's just say she doesn't pull any punches, right?
Okay.
So she's the sharp-tongued lady of our tarot cards, but she can also be very mindful. She's very astute. She makes her decisions based on logic rather than emotion. And this is cutting things down quite quickly. So when we look at the overall picture here, it's like, okay, make your decision, stick to it. Don't let anyone, try and sway you if that's what you truly want. And also just say it how it is, you know, don't sort of sugarcoat it. Taking people's feelings into consideration, well, we always should do that.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's when it comes to push and shove, when people aren't actually listening to what you have to say, sometimes you just have to quietly cut them off and say, look, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
And then move away. Wow, it's a very combative kind of energy, isn't it? So there is some fun to be had. Okay, so this is the card of the Ten of Cups. Now, it's what you are dreaming about, what you want. Now, look, for a really long time, and I think this is a sort of the fault of Hollywood and fairy stories and all sort of thing.
Yep.
You know, people believe that their romantic endeavours are going to end up like a fairy tale.
Yes.
They want the Prince Charming.
Yeah.
They want
the princess.
Yeah, and everything has to be right, and it's going to be 100% right. And of course, that's ridiculous. It can't be.
No way.
But there are deal breakers, of course, especially when someone won't change their behaviour. So this is the idealistic way of looking at romance. And what we're looking at here is people have had, probably in the energy of the past maybe 4 years, coming out of, you know, COVID and all of those really bad times where everybody thought that the world was coming to an end.
Yes.
We're kind of coming through that now, and we're coming into the more realistic. So I think it's really woken people up to what's real. I do believe, and particularly we talk about this all the time, about how Hollywood indeed is crumbling, and the idols are all sort of, you know, being shown up for, well, not very good people, some of them. Just on relationships and on that, a prediction that happened last year about
Tom Holland
and
Zendaya.
Yes, they definitely have got married or getting married.
Yes.
She's got a whopper of an engagement ring on her finger. All right. So this is where we are hoping and wishing for a Tom Holland Zendaya relationship.
Yes.
Okay. And it's what we're getting is no. What we're getting is that in order to have what we want here, we need also to give out. It can't just come to you.
Yes.
You can't sit in your lounge room and expect Prince Charming or Princess Charming to knock on your door. Okay. So you have to make the effort. And so in clearing out the closet in the year 9 energy, I prefer not to start things in a year 9 on a personal basis. I think that it can be very slow and hard going.
Just as in like born to a 9 year, or just interesting? Well, there you go. 9 years. So like, damn it.
And if you want to know how to get to your year, you add your birthday and your month and then the current year.
There you go,
the current
guys.
year number is 9.
Yes.
So I'm actually personally in a 5 this year, which is all about expansion and travel.
That's awesome.
But
and very much so what you're doing.
Yes.
Oh, lots of travel.
So when we're sort of looking at this, it's like expansion is there, but spending money on yourself, because you will need, instead of spending money on other things in the relationship, maybe everything's coming back to you now. Perhaps it's time for you to start thinking about your needs over other people's needs. It doesn't sound selfish to me. It just sounds logical that if you're going through transition, you need to spend some time and money on yourself.
Absolutely.
And that could just be like, you know, getting a new wardrobe or going and getting fit.
Spa days. Whatever.
Join the gym. So there are going to be some tears and sadness, unfortunately. Well, that's inevitable, isn't it? If we're breaking up with people or we're letting relationships go, even friendships can cause those kind of emotions.
Definitely.
And we're looking here at some sadness, but it's not going to last very long, guys, because ultimately...
What a counter card there.
Yeah,
I mean, awesome.
And I felt this even before I put the card down, is what we have is it's not very long, because you're not going to go around in a grief cycle like before. It's like the energy is pushing us forward so fast. We don't get a chance to do that. We're going to sort of grieve, and then we're going to move on really fast. So what might have taken you 12 months to get over before, it's going to be like 3 months or less, you know. New and wonderful opportunities will follow if you clean the slate.
That's awesome.
So, you know, like, don't be frightened to make the changes. And some of us will feel very strongly about moving.
And like location
completely. Some of us will feel like, look, I'm done here. The relationship with your home environment
very true.
will also be under that microscope. It's like, do I want to live here anymore? Do I like the vibe here anymore? Maybe it's time for me to move on. And so that's very much under the microscope as well. So interesting, this could be a very personal reading for me, actually. This is very interesting.
Part of the collective. So
yes, of course. Okay, so the final card, well, we'll probably throw a few others, but the final card we pulled in our outcome is basically the Five of Swords, which is overcoming the arguments, overcoming the obstacles, overcoming everything that has made us feel combative.
Yep.
Now, when I first put the cards down, I said there is a very combative feel to this. It's like you are like really defending your decisions based on, you know, making that for you rather than completely for everyone else. And I think a lot of you out there who've been the givers, you're always giving, you're empathic, you heal everyone around you because of your feelings and how gorgeous and beautiful you are as human beings, it's actually your time to start taking back.
Yep.
And you're going to feel this very, very strongly. And it could even come down to your relationships with siblings and parents as well. It might be that, you know, you just feel like you need that break away from that energy for a bit. Oh, wow. So much going on here.
Wow.
So the Eight of Wands, broadening horizons, meeting new people, actually setting your sights on new arenas as well. And so this to me means I'm going to leave my old life behind and just completely move on.
Absolutely. Why not? You know,
and that is at the very end, of course, of this scale, because a lot of you will be going, oh, I'm never going to do that. I'm too old to move. I'm too this, I'm too that. Well, what you're going to remember is this is a generalised reading. And when we're looking at this, it can be on a very large scale.
Absolutely.
So at the very least, you could just stop talking to the next door neighbour. And at the other end of the scale, you could move completely into a different country.
Yes.
So, you know, there's varying degrees on how people will take this. And it's all down to free will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The message here is from Spirit is your relationships no longer govern how you feel about yourself. You must go within and be alone in order to find who you are. And that is a very strong message coming from this year. Now, don't forget, at the end of this year, we're moving into a 1 year, a full new cycle.
That's huge.
And so the 1 year is very much about building self-esteem and building self. So when you're looking at this, it's exactly what it should be.
Yep.
So the takeaway, I feel, I'm going to do one more.
Oh, yeah, do one more.
Yeah, praise, promotion, being known for you and what you do. Build up yourself, build up your self-esteem, get rid of anyone in your life that's not adhering to that, not helping you with that, and just really move forward with love and compassion for all those that you're leaving behind.
Yes. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Alison.
No
Beautiful
problem.
reading there. And thank you guys for writing in. That was an awesome question. Alrighty, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you love the videos. Share and subscribe. We will see you next time.
Bye.